Everybody's Durger time. Thank you for joining me once again for another episode of Ring of Honor Resurrected. And apparently, Randy Orton on SmackDown won the Universal title. So that's something. That's the most boring title win. Hot takes on Randy Orton. So far, we've been doing good. We've been at a bit of a war with CMLL for some reason. They decided to declare war on us, and we've been going back and forth at it. That's fine. That's what we'll do. But very weird nonetheless. But we had a pretty good show. It could have been better. It certainly could have been better last week. And, it's something to look at, I suppose, in terms of booking. And a 53, much lower than our, actually, you can look at it. It's about average. I feel like a 57 is our good show. We really want to shoot for those 60s. We're not always going to get them, and we know that. But, certainly is something to shoot for us. Still only racking in about 360 people into that arena. So for our actual attendance for our shows on HBO Max, not getting a lot. We are getting a lot of viewers on HBO, though. So that is always good. That's always going to boost the numbers for us pretty well. Overall, though, a decent show. We're still running that Jay Lethal and Samoa Joe storyline. We have the Righteous attacking and calling out a shot for the 6-man titles. So we got some stuff going on there. And overall, we're kind of building towards stuff. We have a pay-per-view in 15 days, which is what we will build to for our main storylines. So one of the weird things is because we have the Alliance belts, because our Alliance titles are the United States Heavyweight IWGP, the Pure, which is currently Tracy Williams, that we just, took the belt off of Matt Sydal, let him win that, and our 6-man, we have access to anybody that is on here. So I can pull Kenta as long as he's available anytime. I can pull Adam Cole, Matt, and Nick Jackson that aren't normally part of our thing. Normally, we would have to do a talent trade. We actually can't even do a talent trade because we are a parent. They were a child company, so we can't even do that. We would have to do an alliance alone, which is doable, but it's a one-time off thing. And I think there's a limit where if you do too many in a quarter, they lock you out. They're like, nah, not doing it. So this is sort of our cheaty way to bring people in from AEW or from New Japan in a way that we can use them for long term. Well, I'm saying this is that because obviously with our booking plans, we have the Righteous, going to be facing Matt, Nick, and Adam Cole. I'm probably going to have the Righteous win, try to give them a huge momentum boost, and then bring the 6-man home for a while. But we can't do that yet because I still need Matt and Nick for a 3-way championship match for the tag team title. So there's some logistics in there where we can't actually do this match before or during that pay-per-view. So that's a bit of a headache, but that's something logistically we will come up with and figure it out. We're at $68,000 in debt. It seems like we're losing about $72,000 a month. Hopefully that's not a huge deal for AEW, or else this will end quickly as we are dropped from the AEW brand and are left spinning our own wheels, which might be interesting. I've never had that happen where we've been dropped. Obviously, our Tony Khan feels that our performance so far has been excellent. We do have these 3 goals so far that we haven't touched base on for a while. But still, we have to rise to medium size, which, truthfully, that's going to be a challenge. Our size currently is small. We need to achieve a 59 in a year. Yep. I have an idea of maybe how to do that. But would be hard. would certainly be difficult. And it might involve some shenanigans with AEW. So we'll have to look at that. But for now, we have this pay-per-view in the pipelines. Let's go ahead, let's book a show. Let's try to start building up. We have 2 Ring of Honor wrestling shows to work towards, and then we have this. We do have some minor morale issues, again, being left off the card, that kind of thing. Not much we can do about that. We're going to have to handle these. Part of the challenge here is we can't just throw money at them, which is what we can normally do. We would normally talk to a worker and say, listen, actually it wouldn't be talk to worker. It would be in here, I think. I always forget where it is. It's somewhere. Yeah, it wasn't here. Give times offs or bonuses. We would give him... I don't think we can even do this because we don't have the money for it. Apparently we can. And just go further in debt. Okay, well, I mean, that's good to know. I was going to say that makes it a little bit more challenging, but something to look at if we have some minor morale issues that we want to deal with. I'm going to try not to do that because I don't have the money to spend, so I really don't want to go further in debt and potentially jeopardize our finances. Some of those financial woes also come from the fact that we are not getting any pay-per-view revenue from our events. So we are on Fight for events internationally. We are on HBO Max, which is a subscription service. We should be getting 30% of the revenue from this. So I'm not really sure why we didn't. And of course, we have our 100% revenue gain for Honor Club. This time I'm going to ignore Honor Club and I'm just going to put HBO and I think just HBO and let it slide. This deal, like what are we? Purpose for events. What is this deal though? Like, what are we? I don't know if we are set up to just do US or not. Change purpose of? No. Change time slot? No. On demand. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is here with that, but because we do have exclusive broadcast rights across the United States. This one has no exclusive broadcast rights. And I would think what would happen would be this would supersede this. So HBO Max is in the US would supersede Fight's ability in here. But I'm not sure. So I might just run on HBO Max and just not show it internationally and just see if we get some revenue. Because I'm kind of confused why we never got any pay-per-view revenue at all, because we theoretically should get 30% of it, unless it's bundled in with like just TV revenue, which I don't think it is, but it seems weird to me. I don't know. So maybe it was bundled into broadcast revenue, but I don't think so. So it's kind of weird that we've never received any revenue for our previous pay-per-view. So we're going to really check that and make sure that looks right. Maybe we didn't run it on there and we screwed that up. I don't remember that, but we do want some money, and that's sort of our hope to become solvent in this next one. Anyways, we got 15 days to go. Let's go ahead and fast forward here to Ring of Honor Wrestling, and I'll catch you guys on the flip. All right, we are back. Poor Brandon Cutler getting cut out of AEW here. Says rumored that Brandon Cutler is set to leave AEW after apparently not being offered a contract extension. Insider sources say that the company has no further use for him, which is a bummer. Meanwhile, New Japan of America and WWE go to war. That might not be a good idea. We'll see how that plays out. But certainly an interesting one. And of course, we have some extensions going on with a lot of people. Vincent's over in Impact, obviously, as well. CMLL at war with WWE as well. WWE at war with New Japan. Everybody just at each other's throats in this save. Really interesting. We got a contract coming in because NXT dropped Punishment Martinez, former Ring of Honor star. We're going to bring him in. I think that's a good hand to go ahead and bring in. We have 1 month for that Dalton Castle's contract. We definitely want to renegotiate that. We'll do exclusive. We're going to give him a 1 year contract. And that all looks fine. I'll cover his travel costs. It's Tony Khan's money, not mine. 180 mark, that's fine as well. I don't know if I can give you a higher cut. Because, yeah, Tony doesn't want any... Big Shot Tony does not want anybody getting more than 10% of the merch. So I got to go up on this. I don't know what the limit is until I can say yes. That'll work. I'm going to give him a $200, nice round number, contract per appearance. That's honestly really underselling it. Josh Wood's contract's ending soon. I don't know. Might let it expire. But it doesn't cost much. We'll give him a 6-month contract. It's kind of lighter. And then we reevaluate. You want 90? That's fine. I have no problem with that. Bandido's contract's expiring. We haven't done much with Bandido, but I think Bandido... Oh my god, you cost a lot, dude. But, you are a star. We need to get you into the spotlight. We have sort of a story on the back burner we haven't touched for a bit, with him and I don't even remember who it was. I gotta look at the storyline. Holy crap. It was Lio Rush. Lio Rush and him were kind of calling it out. I think we need to continue that. I think that might be a focus this week, is to build that up to our next pay-per-view of Best of the World. And let's bring him back in. We'll do a 6 month so we can reevaluate it. Presumably he wants a little bit more. He only wants $10 more per show. Okay, well, I can't do that then. I'm going to give you $50, round it off. Will that be enough to sate you? Yes, it is. Perfect. Joe Hendry's all these contracts are ending. We bring Joe Hendry back in. Joe Hendry's been a disappointment for me, not because of who he is and what he can do, but because right now his popularity is not where it needs to be. Joe Hendry could be a star. Joe Hendry could be a star in real life. Joe Hendry could be a star in this save. We're going to try to make him one, but right now it's a real damn bummer that every time I put him in a showing, we get a really underwhelming response. I'm going to just go ahead and give him 150 because I like round numbers, and that will settle that. Bear Bronson's have a contract extension at Beyond, sure, whatever. Vincent's doing some stuff in Impact. Eli, we haven't used him much, but I think should we be doing written contracts? We probably should be. We'll keep him at written. I keep on doing handshake, but I really should be doing written, so we're not getting requests for salary increases all the time as they move up the ladder. But that's fine. We finished first at a third in Tri-State, and because of that, attendance for shows in this region will be boosted by 5% for the next month. Very good. That is a very good sign for us here. We ended up track that progress. Well, we're moving up pretty good in the Tri-State region. Mid-Atlantic, we're also moving up nicely. So we saw about a 2-point jump here in the Mid-Atlantic region and a 2-point jump over in the Tri-State region. Both very solid. In order to get to medium, we need a 59 in our home region of the Mid-Atlantic plus 35 in either Tri-State or the Southeast. So we have a long way to go for Mid-Atlantic, but we pretty much, if we can get the Mid-Atlantic going, we're in a good place at that point. So I think we have, I was going to say, we could probably have our pay-per-view in the Tri-State to take advantage of that momentum increase, but maybe we have the pay-per-view in the Mid-Atlantic region and not the Tri-State region. I don't know, but that's a decision we'll have to make, certainly. All right, let's go ahead and let's keep going to our show now that we got all of those contract situations settled. Okay, we are back. We got some absent workers. Obviously, Punishment Martinez is still in his contract with WWE, so we're not going to bring him in yet, but we will. Last held in Tri-State region, did fairly well. 360 people attended. We could do it in the Tri-State again, which would give us a little bit of a bump because of that regional. Give us a 407 fans. I think we will do it in the Mid-Atlantic. I think we're going to focus this month on the Mid-Atlantic and try to make sure our home territory is really bouncing. 332. We last visited in June, so we were there last month. We bounced between the two of them, and I think we'll be okay. Last time we only had 250 people. Now we're looking at 332, so it's about almost 100 people jump. It's not bad. About 80 people. We will pick the best venue, which in this case is the Civic Center. Only capacity is 250. Can we go a little bit higher? Anything that's a little bit higher? Let's run this. Let's run the Armory. Or even the Job Arena. Why is that so much? No importance to it, though. But I don't think that actually importance matters to us. I think importance matters only to the AI. Hotbed does. I think Hotbed gives us a boost, but I don't think anything's a hotbed in the Mid-Atlantic region. One is Gary Cole Center, which is a little expensive to run that out. Maybe for a pay-per-view. So I don't see a reason why we can't up the ante a little bit. We'll run the Hops Arena. It is location of many professional wrestling events, including Evolve Maryland Championship Wrestling, House Hardcore, and Ring of Honor. So we've all been there before already. I think then that is certainly fine. Let's go ahead and select that venue. I have no problem with that. We are going to do a locker room open forum. Let some of the rants go ahead and rant. There we go. That'll try to hopefully alleviate some of those problems. Still haven't fixed that logo. I need to go ahead and update that logo. We got it for the main show, but we don't have it for the TV show. So something we got to look at. All right. We got a show to book. Let's go ahead and see if we can get it. So 57 again. Don't know if we will, but that's certainly the hope, because we definitely need to make some momentum going to try to achieve that objective for getting to a medium-sized company, which that's gonna be difficult. That's a huge goal for 1 year. So let's go ahead and see if we can do it. All right, catch you guys on the flip. All right, guys, we got a show. I don't know how it's going to go. We're probably going to get some time penalties because I tried to cram a lot in here in our penultimate episode before our go home, or before our actual pay-per-view. Because we have 2 shows, including this one, before our next pay-per-view. So I kind of wanted to get some stuff rolling. So some of these matches have some penalties associated with them, but I want to see if that really affects it. I don't think the penalties for being short matches affect us as much as I think. So that's my hope. I'm hoping for a 53 for this show. We'll see. It's an odd main event. So, it could go either way. But let's go ahead and let's check out the show here. We start in the pre-show with Brendan Watts versus Silas Young. Silas Young defeats him in 17 minutes. I'm trying to just give Brendan Watts some opportunities in the pre-show. Obviously, he's not going to beat Silas, but we're going to have him have a nice showing. Long match, a 17-minute match, so it does it really well. Silas re-debuts after having lost his lost his contract originally, so build him up as maybe a lower mid-carder sort of gatekeeper. So it's the sort of beginning of re-debuting him. He does pretty good. He's 47. Brandon Watt's actually not too bad either. 35 for being a relatively unknown. Someone that we are trying to build up for AEW. Keeping him on the pre-shows for a while is probably going to help. We got FTR versus Gun Club. FTR has been kind of cooled off for a bit, so this is an opportunity to give them a big win here, even in the pre-show, just to kind of build them up a little bit, give them a little more momentum. So we have Gun Club with Billy Gunn and Austin Gunn, and FTR defeats them in 17 minutes. Cash Wheeler pins Billy Gunn, trying to give them a little bit more, just a little more oomph, I guess I would say, going into the next major pay-per-view. We want to make sure that they have a little bit more momentum. You know, they lost a lot when they lost the belts the first time. Obviously, we're going to have this sort of triple threat match. It's going to be a real banger. But, you know, we want to give some momentum. 53 for this. Layla Hirsch versus Vita Von Star. We haven't had a chance to see what Vita Von Star can do, so I thought this would be a good opportunity to give Layla Hirsch a win and check out Vita. Vita's not great, 29. Layla, we continue to build up a little bit, try to make her more of a legitimate star. Still remembering that Mercedes Martinez promised to put her over at some point, so something we may do in the future. 44 is a little weak, so I don't know if she's ready for a main event position for our women's division yet, but somebody we certainly want to build up. And then we start to show off. I actually forgot that Matt and Nick are, because the way I set it up is anybody that was on the very first pay-per-view when Ring of Honor started as sort of the rebranded AEW Ring of Honor, I gave them a contract for a while because I consider them part of sort of Ring of Honor, quote unquote. So Matt and Nick are part of the Ring of Honor brand. So I don't actually have to worry, like I said before, about the 6-man, the tag, all that drama. So I could probably pull off that match next week if I want to give it to the Righteous, and then still have Matt and Nick do stuff in the pay-per-view under that triple threat. So I could probably do both, which is cool. We'll see, though. There's a bit of a problem, which is Matt and Nick both have, I think, creative clauses because of their executives, so they may not be willing to drop the 6-man tags to the Righteous, which is kind of what I want. I kind of want the Righteous to have the 6-mans, but we'll see. Either way, we got Adam Cole and the Young Bucks versus Cheeseburger, Eli, and Leon Ruff. They defeat the trio here, which is the Shinobi Shadow Squad and Leon Ruff, who we're kind of starting to maybe group them together. Gives Leon Ruff a little bit of ability to kind of hang on and build himself up. Actually, he did pretty good. He did better than Cheeseburger. So I think that's not a bad tag. Eli's kind of the weak link of the bunch, so, you know, not a bad trio to give a pretty consistent 6-man here. Overall, match is pretty good. It's a 62. It's a worked crowd match, which worked very well. Got the show off to a strong start. Nick looked great. We built up some storyline heat for Matt and Nick involved in the tag team scene. It's a little too short, so this is why I was like, well, it's a work the crowd match. It shouldn't be too long. I don't think we really got too heavily penalized. Looking at the averages here, like maybe only 3 points, so I'm maybe not as concerned about that penalty as I used to be. So I think we're going to use that to our advantage and say, listen, we can burn off a few points if we need to fit more, or we just need to make something work. I'm not that too concerned. Afterwards, we have an angle where just kind of outlined they struggled to win. Remember, we found out that Adam Cole betrayed the Young Bucks and kind of broke off. It's kind of funny that that happened in the save automatically, and it ended up happening in the real world. Obviously, it was very easy to see it coming. Obviously, it's an easy booked thing. but it's funny that it happened anyways. But Adam Cole usurped the Young Bucks, and they still have this tag title, so it's sort of like these now bitter rivals forced to fight together, and we see that they are struggle to win here, and they do manage to win, but then they start fighting and bickering, and Adam Cole and Matt start fighting, and so all three of them start kind of attacking each other, kind of building up the idea that, man, they're so dysfunctional kind of thing. Afterwards, we got Dalton Castle, who comes out to the ring to talk to the crowd. Immediately, he's interrupted by Joe Hendry and Gazim, and Joe is pretty sick of Dalton Castle at this point, and he says, "Why is my name constantly in your mouth, Dalton?" He opines as Gazim stands ominously behind him, his arms crossed. There's week after week now, we have proven that you are not the great Ring of Honor champion, Dalton Castle, anymore. You are just a broken old man. The future is now, old man. The future is Joe Hendry. And Gazim grunts. And Joe Hendry looks back and kind of rolls his eyes a bit. He's like, and of course, the future is also the Albanian terror, obviously. So we know there's a little bit of tension where Gazim's kind of latched on to Joe Hendry, and Joe Hendry does not respect Gazim, and we know that that's probably going to boil off at some point. Dalton demands one more shot, and Joe Hendry allows him to have it. Dalton wants it to have nobody by ringside. No Gazim, no boys, nobody, just him and Joe. And Joe reluctantly agrees under a condition that says that Joe Hendry wins, Dalton will never be able to face him again. So it has to be over. It has to be in contract. He can never face him in a match again. He never wants to see him again. So we're building that no local hero story with Joe. We see a little bit of tensions between his bodyguard, his muscle, Gazim Salmani. And obviously we have a stipulation here for Dalton for that match that if he loses, he can never fight Joe. It has to be over. Got the crowd hotter. Segment gets a 48. Does pretty well. We're doing a little bit better. We're trying to build Joe up because I think he could be for us like a Dolph Ziggler level upper mid-carder, where he could be sort of the jobber to the stars or even a gatekeeper. And I would like to get Joe there. I think there's a lot that we can do with him, but we need to get him there first. That might be a big win over Dalton. That might be a feud with Gazim. We have to see what we can do. With Gazim's sidelines, we can have Joe beat people that are way better than him. So that's sort of the propellant here to this storyline. We got the Blackheart, Lio Rush, after weeks of being off, shows up, cuts a promo backstage on Bandido, and Lio Rush very arrogantly kind of recaps the events here. He goes, "A few weeks ago, I made it known that I'm not just the top wrestler in Ring of Honor. I'm the top wrestler in every territory I'm in, whether it's in America or in Europe or in Japan, and yes, or in Mexico. All have seen what I can do and are astonished. Well, since then, I've barely been booked against Ring of Honor's top competitors, but that's a different problem for a different day. Today, the problem is Bandido. Felt a little too upset about what I had to say. Well, tonight, I'm going to show him that all that time in Ring of Honor, he was just a big fish in a small pond, and a much bigger shark just entered the waters." We actually lose some heat for this story, unfortunately. It gets a 43. Lio Rush is okay at the mic, but I think some other factors probably hurt this here. I mean, he's an amazing heel. It was a good gimmick. Had a high morale bonus. But ultimately, only a 43. We finally have Flip Gordon versus Tony Nese in a match that's shocking. Tony Nese said that he would take Flip's challenge and that he was a nobody. Flip says Tony's a bully, was going to kind of show him up, and we have a decent reaction from the crowd and good wrestling. Flip Gordon and Tony Nese draw to a time limit of 20 minutes. We have our first tie in Ring of Honor here. Neither man could ultimately beat the other. Building up this feud a bit more, we have Flip versus at a 59, Tony only at a 49, which is kind of interesting. We gain more heat for the professional wrestle storyline, got the crowd hotter, and a 55 ultimately. It's actually a pretty solid match, building up probably to like a best 2 out of 3s falls match between the two. Very happy. I mean, Flip is actually a better wrestler in terms of in-ring performance, but Tony didn't do bad either. He's 50, so both these dudes can put on a match. Probably could have even got higher if it was a technical match, or a high spots match even, possibly. But overall, pretty good here. Pretty happy with that. We have a promo backstage with Daniel Garcia, Suzuki standing beside him, looking like a proud papa. And Garcia talks to the camera. It's a very weird relationship because Garcia basically took the belt from Suzuki. You'd think Suzuki would be mad, but he was just so impressed by Daniel Garcia that he wrote Goon on his chest, kind of adding him to the first of the sort of U.S. Suzuki Goon in Ring of Honor here. And Daniel Garcia says, "I've been called a lot of things. The Red Death, the Dragon Slayer, and now the Ring of Honor television champion. But more importantly than that, I can say I'm Suzuki Goon. And with the legend Minoru Suzuki by my side, I will remain the television champion until I die. So if you think that you have what it takes, come out and take it. I'm not running from anybody. This belt will always be on the line. But understand, I'm not going anywhere. And I'm not going to go easy. You don't have to just pin me to win. You're going to have to survive these matches to earn it." So basically saying it's an open challenge. Anyone that wants a shot can come and get it. He obviously benefited here. Did pretty well. It's a 49. Suzuki's back there being menacing. Garcia's over there. You know, he's weaker on the mic, but he does okay. Overall, 49's not too bad. We have a match with Bobby Flaco. So actually a long match, a 20-minute match. Bobby had a good technical skill, so I want to give him a technical masterclass and see how he would do. Did not do well. Dan Garcia makes defense number 1 in the World Television title. Carried the match. It's a 44. Minoru Suzuki is acting as manager and is doing good work ringside. Unfortunately, the crowd was a little too rowdy, so we probably hurt it. We probably would have got a 50 for the match itself. But Bobby Flaco's skill set did not last here. He struggled a little bit here. So that is unfortunate. Did not have the psychology to keep it up and ended up having a poor match, but gives Daniel Garcia a decent first defense here. And, you know, this was sort of his opportunity. We've had good matches with Bobby in the past, so I thought it was a good opportunity to see if he could hang. He didn't really, but we won't hold it against him too much. Now we got a after action here of Bobby going to shake Garcia's hand as a sign of respect. Garcia takes the hand, but does the kind of thing where he tries to walk away, holds onto it, and then attacks him. Suzuki comes out, starts attacking him. Suzuki Gun, known to being very, dishonorable, and the crowd is very upset by this sign of disrespect. But we know Suzuki likes pain and punishment and will not let people just idly come by. This is not a symbol of respect anymore. This television title is a symbol of pain and basically sending a message that if you come in, you better damn well be able to hang, because if you can't, Suzuki and Garcia will make you hurt. So pretty interesting, pretty fun. We have a backstage segment again where 3 of the members of the Foundation are about to have an interview, but then are attacked by Samoa Joe, and we have a backstage brawl between all three where he ends up leveling them all out. He's powered up, he's pissed off, and we kind of are continuing towards this feud between Jay Lethal and Joe here. Ends with a 47 here, and we go into our main event, which is the Blackheart, Lio Rush versus Bandido. Giving them an opportunity here to have a match. Unfortunately, we had to do it at a 15-minute, 13-minute match because it was going to be a high spots match. He wouldn't be able to do a 20-minute. Sort of the problems with these products. So it was going to look a little bit too short for the importance. It did have superb wrestling and had a decent reaction from the crowd, though. Bandido actually defeats Lio Rush by pinfall. We have a 60 for Lio Rush. We have a 69 for Bandido. We gain heat for our storyline. We still have to fix Bandido and Chavo sort of face-heel divide issue. And then there were some psychology problems in here in this match. So it drifted a little bit. So it ended up getting a little bit worse than it could have been. Could have been like a 62, but 58's not too bad. Afterwards, Bandido does offer the honorable handshake to Lio Rush. He recognizes he has talent. He just wanted to prove that, prove to him that he was not as good as he thought he was. And Lio Rush was humbled a little bit in this match, but refuses to take the handshake. Instead, flips him off to a chorus of boos and walks to the back. Lio Rush is getting bitter here, and we're going to kind of start to see the buildup of that. We're probably not going to have another rematch here, but that was sort of the beginning of the journey for Lio of thinking he was top shit, getting called out by it, getting humbled a little bit. And now we're going to see sort of what dark places Lio goes as he realizes that he has to become something different, and he got humbled a bit. And then we got to figure out what to do with Bandido. So sort of an end of a storyline here. Maybe we'll do a rematch, but that's sort of where we're at with it. Overall, 54. It's about what I said it was going to be. So I'm happy with that. That's pretty okay. It's about average. We took a little bit of a risk by having some of the non-conventional main players in the mix for the main event. Overall, though, if you look at this, all green. We did not get a women's division match in the main show, which was unfortunate, but we just really timed it a lot. We don't really have a big story going on there, though, so I'm not that concerned about it. We just have a Jordan Grace versus Mercedes Martinez match, so, is what it is there. But overall, I think we set up a lot here, building some good stuff, so I'm pretty happy with this. All right, our after action report here was the show was really went well. There was viewers that said it was excellent, so we're pretty happy with that. Any news? Nothing really to keep an eye out for. AEW extends a deal with Eddie Kingston. They damn well better. Nothing else really going on. Got some Trevor Lee and Lio Rush beef on social media. Interesting. Started with some bad blood, started out of nowhere, and that's interesting. That's not shocking, though. We did manage to break even last month, which is interesting. So we ended up somehow breaking even. I'm not sure if that was because we didn't have the pay-per-view or something. Don't know. That's a little weird. I have to look at the numbers. Right now, we're doing about 12K a show down. So, not horrible, but that is what it is for us. We do have some contract negotiations coming back in. And wrestling figures was 490,000. So, not too bad. So, we have another show in 6 days and then our pay-per-view. So, I'll catch you guys later for those. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.